without the data, there are certain output you cannot view. For myself, for this one, I'm going to show to you the SQL statement. But since there are some of the data, there are some of my table didn't have data or proper data, so that's why sometimes some of the information, some of the data will be not appear on my screen lah. So that's why I really hope that you can try by your own self. Okay, please make sure that you already key in all your data lah. And then for this one, based on my previous class, actually I have around 1 hour, but during that time there are nothing disturb my class. So for that one, actually you can show to me and also your friend which part that you already have difficulties and so on. Okay, so we are going to solve together, because for this one sometimes maybe when I show based on my example, that particular problem doesn't happen. Okay, because for me after this there are certain part I will ask you to try by yourself in your exam. Okay, because for this one more to the manipulating. For me, I'm going just to show to you using my word and also using the Oracle notes. So that's why this time, since already week number 3, so I let you to try by yourself. So that's why I want to see any problems or any mistake, then we are going to solve together. Okay. So that's why you have to do relating to your own, relating to your own example lah. Okay. Some of the class rep asked me to upload my my lecture. Okay, so previously I didn't upload because I have a reason. If you notice that during the class I asked you to show to me your assignment. Okay, so that's why during that time the assignment also being recorded. So that's why I didn't upload any notes before this, because the assignment what your friend already present based on the assignment recorded. So that's why I didn't want other student to copy. But then if you still remember or if you jot down, so that one beyond my control lah. Okay. So by next week, next Monday, I will settle all the SQL statement. So I will upload your this video recording to your my guru lah. So at least you can try again. You can try to go through again based on what or how I already do in my class. And then the next one you can hands on, because as what I already told you before, your SQL part 1, part 2 and part 3, I will ask you to submit. Okay. So that one later, I will upload later. Okay. So for today, previously, if you notice that I will start with my Oracle notes first, and then after that only I will move to my own file. But for today, okay, since this one more, I will allow you or I will let you to do your own hands-on exercise, okay, or your hands-on process. So that's why for this one, I'm going to base on my handout first. Okay, so after my handout, then only I will go based on the Oracle notes. But then for this one, actually most of the content in this part we already cover in our DML, just only for the selection, because actually your select statement also fall under DML. Okay, so that's why if you notice that in your assignment, okay, in your assignment 3 question, so you can see that under select statement, this part I put under data manipulation language. And then for you also, when you do your assignment number 1 previously about the SQL language or structured query language, so you already know that select statement, one component or one statement that fall under the DML. Okay, so you just can include information from here lah, just only retrieve again whatever data that you already stored before. Okay, and okay, so let's move to this one first. As usual, please make sure that hold on, your friend try to join. Okay, so for this one, please make sure that you fill up your username, your student name together with the ID, and then the next one, your database name. Okay, and then you can see that under part 3 SQL, it is related to your select statement. And then this one, all the exercise that you are going to do for your assignment, sorry, for your SQL part 3, actually related to whatever that you already done for your SQL part 1 and also part 2. Okay. So under select statement, you can see that I provide 5 different example, okay, 5 different syntax. But then for this one, everything actually fall under one select statement. But I just separate into a different exercise number. Because if you notice that in your Oracle notes also, they separate into several different files. So that's why myself also I separate into several exercise number. But then you can try by yourself after this one by one. But okay, right now, let's see first. So for this one, I hope that you can remember lah. Okay, this part you have to copy your SQL statement and then you have to paste your output here. Okay, so from here, under select statement, if you notice that they will start with the um okay, for the select statement must start with the word select. Okay, this one belong to the SQL statement, and then the next one follow with the list of the columns. So it is depends how many columns that you want to get the output or you want to get the result. Okay, and then the next one, after you list the columns, how many columns that you want, then after that you have to know, okay, that particular columns come from which table. So that's why you have to put word from and then follow with the table name. And as usual lah, you will have to end with the semicolon. Okay. Okay, so you have to end with the semicolon. So this is example. Okay, so for example from here, like what happened in the previous syntax, okay, you can see that this one, you list down all the columns. So what columns that you want to be appeared on your output screen. So this one more to the query. It means that, for example, previously you in your table, you have 5 different columns. But maybe in terms of the query, you just want to get only 2 columns. So that's why you still can manipulate. Okay, for this part, it doesn't mean that whatever structure that you already create before in your database, you have to view on your output. No, okay? So you still can choose based on what you want. Okay, that's why you have to list down the column name. But if you want to, if you want to make sure that all of your columns appear for that particular column, then you can put select star. So select star, if you have 20 columns, then they will pop up all 20 columns. No need for you to list down one by one. But if you have a specific columns, then you have to list down one by one lah. Okay, so for this one depends on your requirement, which one that you want. For example, for myself, my requirement, I want to view student ID together with the assignment 1 marks from my student marks table. Okay, so that's why if I put that way, then I have to put select student ID and student assignment 1 marks from student. Okay, so you have to identify that particular columns comes from which table. Okay, and then okay, this one example. So you can see that, for example, okay, this one they have the statement normally based on the English language statement, what you want, but actually you also can base on your own, okay, based on your own your own needs lah. Okay, so that's why for this one you can see that the first one, okay, select customer name and city from your customer table. So that's why you can see that you put select customer name city from, okay, from where? This customer name and city comes from the table customer. Okay, so you have to put, then this one they will pop up to you one table with 2 different column, customer name and city. And then if you have 1,000 of data, all of the 1,000 data will be appeared lah for this part. Okay, so that one common SQL statement. So it means that that one is a general SQL statement. Then you have to put select, follow with the list of the columns that you want to be appeared. And then next one, follow with the word from, then follow with your table name from where that you can get or you want to retrieve that particular data. Okay, so this part you can see that for my example number 1, this one just only from any table. So that's why for this part, if you want to write your SQL statement, you have to refer to my requirement lah from here. Okay. So at least you have to put right select statement to retrieve all columns and all row from any table. So if you have 5 table, then you are going to put select column 1, column 2. Sorry, if you have 5 column, then you are going to put select column 1, column 2, column 3, column 4, column 5 from what is your table name. For example, your table name is ship item. Then you have to put the ship item, and then after that you have to paste the result lah from here. Okay, so this one up to you, depends on your requirement, which table that you are going to view. But you have to see, you have to understand from here, we are going to retrieve all columns and all row. Okay, so if you didn't want to list one by one, then you can put select star. Okay, and then follow with the table name. So that one relating to the first example, where you want to retrieve, okay, all the columns together with all of the data, all of the record. But if you notice that this one, okay, actually this select statement retrieve any 4 columns from any 2 table. So you can see that this one is about the combination or merging or join. So if you refer to, if you try to Google, if you want to merge the table, normally they are using the word join. Okay, so you can see lah, if you Google, then you can see that they have the left outer join, full outer join, and so on lah. So for example, myself, now let me try to Google. Okay, SQL for join. Okay, join table. So for example, 2 table. Okay, so if you want to join, you can see that from here they're using the word union. Union also can be used. Okay, beside union, you can see that they also use inner join and so on. So this one you can try to go through by yourself lah. Because for me right now, actually I already identified the simplest way of how you are going to join your table. Okay, so for this one, you can see that I put here join 4 column. This one relating to your exercise. This means that you have to join 4 columns from any 2 table. Okay, if you want to join using the simplest structure, okay, what I have done, so you can see that under select statement also must start with the word select. Okay, and then you have to identify, okay, for example, if you have 2 columns from table A and then 2 columns from the table B, then you have to put initial. Okay, if you identify the initial lah. For example, for me right now, my table number 1 is tutorial table, and then I put initial as a A. Okay, and then the next one, my table number 2 T count table, I put initial as a B. So that's why under select, you have to make sure that you have to start with your table name. Myself right now, I put initial. If I didn't put initial, okay, for example, I copy this one, I paste here, and then I didn't put initial. I didn't create initial. So if I didn't create initial, then you have to remove this part. So it means that you just make sure that you have your table name. Okay. So for example, for table A is tutorial table. Okay. A also tutorial table. And then the next one for B actually T count. Okay. So if you notice from my example right now, okay, I have tutorial table dot tutorial ID 1. Okay, I have a comma. Tutorial table dot tutorial author 2, and the last one T count table dot tutorial count. Okay, 3. So it means that right now I just want to view 3 column. Okay, but for my requirement here, I have to add 4 columns. So that's why you have to add another one lah. Okay, so for this one, which is depends. For example, you have T table tutorial no. T count table tutorial count, and then for example T count table tutorial tutorial total. Okay, so that one is means that you are going to have 4 different columns. So you can see that if you want to combine, you have to make sure that at your select statement, okay, you have to put your table name first before your column name. It means that you have to identify, okay, the first column from which table. So under table name, it is up to you whether you want to use initial or whether you want to provide a full spelling. But if you want to use initial under the after word to from, you have to put the full name table and then give space and then what is your initial. So you can choose either one lah, okay? So the first one for select list of the columns that you want to view, but you have to make sure that before you put the column name, you have to identify or you have to put from which table that you are going to get that particular information or that particular column, okay? And then the next one, follow with the word from and then your table name lah. Since right now I want to get from two different table, so that's why I put table 1, okay, for the tutorial table, and table 2 for T count table, okay. And then for A and B, this one is initial, okay, because I didn't want to provide full spelling for under select statement lah. But if you want to put full spelling, then you can follow with my example lah for this one, okay. And then the next one, you have to put the word where. Your word where, you have to identify your link, your relationship. It means that between the primary key and foreign key. So if I'm using the what we call that, I'm using the initial. Right now you can see that A dot tutorial author equal to B dot tutorial author. So it means that our relationship using tutorial author for your primary key and foreign key. So you have to identify what is your primary key and also foreign key for that two different table. So if you have 3, then you put comma, and then for example, B dot tutorial author equal to C dot tutorial author. Okay, so that one depends how many table. Then this one, which is more the simplest way of how you are going to merge your table, easier for you to merge your table. Okay, compare if you are using this one. Okay, you have to identify whether it is right outer join and what we call that, left outer join and so on lah. And then the more complex, actually you can use the if statement. So for that one, more complex. So that's why I already identified the simplest way. At least you can combine your table. But then if you want to try to test your own understanding, then you can try lah. For example, this one, you can see that, as I already told you before, okay, they are using inner join, left join, cross join, and so on. So you can also use join. And then if not, as I already told you before, then maybe you can use I'm not sure. Let's see for this one, it is either they are using if statement or not. But then normally most of the coding, they are not using the if statement lah, because that one quite long. Okay, so you can see that this one quite complex compared to what I showed before. But you can choose or you can go through and then they have provide to you lots of the example. But you have to check lah, because sometimes some of the information can be used in Oracle, but maybe cannot use in our limited version. Okay, so that's why you have to double check again based on this part. Okay, so that one about the joining table. Oh no, let me open my meeting, another meeting from another class first. Okay. This one, for the combination, or if you want to combine from two different tables, then you have to use this one. But you have to remember, if you want to combine this part, you have to make sure that it is nearer to one another. If you just only have two tables. So for example, let me see previously yours under tutorial. Okay, tutorial. Where's my example before this normalization? No. Okay, sorry, forum 3. Okay, so if you refer to this one, this example, if you want to combine between retail center and ship item, then it's okay. You just put from A, from retail center, comma, ship item. Okay, and then the next one, where you can put where retail center dot unit ID equal to ship item dot unit ID. But if you want to combine 3, then you have to put first one the relationship or the movement or the foreign key between ship item and retail center. And the next one between the ship item and transportation event. Okay. So for this one, you can try after this lah relating to how you are going to solve for this part. And then we are going to see any of you got problem or not. I will ask you to share your screen after this. Okay. So that one relating to the what we call that select statement where you can retrieve from or where you can combine from the multiple tables. So it means that more than one different table lah. Okay. So it is up to you on how many table that you are going to use. So that's why if you notice that previously when you create your ERD, if you have a long ERD like a train or like a train style, okay, so here combine here, combine here, combine here, and then you are going to have a difficulties when you want to get the result. So that's why you can see that some of you, when you show to me, I will suggest to you, okay, why not right now you try to change instead of you put this way. Let's try to relate to real life example. So maybe you are going to have something like a star, because for your case right now, for example, for your assignment number 3, just only 5 entities. So that one not as a complex as a real life system, because for real life system, sometimes we are going to have more than hundreds of the entity. Okay, so that one by hook by crook, then you cannot solve lah. Okay, or you cannot avoid of getting data like a train. So it means that you are going to have a very long relationship. Okay, so that one depends on the complexity of your own system. Okay. And then the next one, okay, so right now we are going to use the comparison search condition. Okay, how you are going to use the comparison search condition. So that's why normally when you have a certain rule, then you have to put the condition. Previously, when you put select columns together with the table, they didn't have a condition. So it means that they will pop up based on how many columns that you listed here. But number of the record, if you have 1,000 of record, all the 1,000 record will be appeared. Okay, but right now if you see that once we have a condition, it means that we are going to limit. For example, for myself, okay, if I put select student ID, student name from student, so I have around 100 students from 3 different class, so all of 150 students will be appeared. But I can put where condition if I want to scope down. So if I put where class group equal to A. So it means that they just view student name and student ID for my class name equal to A lah. So that's why for this one depends on your need. Or maybe for example for myself, I want to get my condition where student marks less than 50%. Okay, so that one again relating to the condition. You can scope or you can make your searching more specific. Okay, or for example right now for my class also, based on that 150 student, I want to make a condition for those for those maybe okay comes from or their address from Tanjung Malay. So I can put where student address equal to Tanjung Malay. So that's why you can see that this one more to the fulfilling the specific condition. You have your own condition. What condition that you are going to retrieve lah. Okay, this one about the condition, specific condition that you are going to use, you are going to identify. This one no need to worry because I'm going to show under, sorry, not this one. Okay, I'm going to show to you under this part, limit row select. Okay, so one by one, we are going to based on this part lah after this, but you can try. Okay, you can type in your Word document and then you're going to get the result. Okay, and then this one example for this part, you can see that, okay, select all customer from country Mexico in the customer table. Okay, so that's why from here you can see that select all customer. That's why no need for you to list down all of your of your columns, okay? Because this statement didn't stated which columns that they want based on the output. So that's why you can put select star. But if you think that it's okay, never mind, I still want to fill up one by one, okay? So that's why you have to list down all of your column name. But then the next one, after select list of the columns, or you are going to use the star. Okay, next one, you are going to use, okay, you are going to identify from which table that you get that particular information. So for example, right now you are lucky if some of the question they will stated to you, okay, what is your table name. If not, then you have to identify based on the table. So that's why for this one, normally DBA they have to remember lah. Okay, this one, if you want to know about the country, then you have to, you know that that information country exists in the customer table. Then you have to list down. So that's why for this one, actually, database administrator also they will forget. Okay, myself also, even though I'm already teaching this subject for so many years, but then most of the time I still forget. That's why for me, I still have to refer to the document and so on. So that's why for you for this one, for example, if you want to know, okay, based on your assignment, previously that you already create your ERD, then also you already create your data dictionary and relational model. So you have to refer back to here lah, okay? So that's why you can see that from here, documentation is very important, okay? So you can refer, because that's why, as I already told you before, you didn't know, maybe sometimes you can't remember. And then even worst case where your, for example, your user, they will not know, okay, the structure of the database. They didn't know about the structure, okay, because they are not the one who create the database, okay? So that's why when your user told you that this is the requirement, then you have to know, okay, all the requirement that my user want actually exists in the employee table. So that's why you have to identify lah the from which table that the particular information exists, okay? And then here you can see that you have a condition where the country is Mexico. So that's why you have to put here where, follow with the column name where the word Mexico exists. Okay, so this one you have to remember, Mexico is your data that you insert using the insert statement based on your based on your what call that, based on quite disturbing. Okay, based on your record that you already insert before. And then you have to remember, if that data that you set as a character, then you have to put in the single quotation lah. And you have to be careful based on the data, if you already done based on the insertion, you have to carefully spell. Okay, if you put the capital letter, there are some of the DBMS tool, if you change using, or if you call using the small letter, then you cannot get the output. So you have to be careful with this data. But if you are going to, you can remember the details, then we are going to know after this how we are going to solve based on the, which part after this? If I'm not mistaken, under this one lah, under logical comparison. So I will teach you later, okay? Then, okay, that one, it means that if this way, if my customer table got 5 columns, then they will pop up all the 5 columns, okay? So all the 5 columns, because from here you can see that I didn't put any name of the column. So that's why it will pop up all 5 of the column, but one of the columns should consist the word country. So that's why maybe for this one is country. Okay, and then in this particular column, for the country column, there are one data, you have Mexico. Okay, if you didn't have Mexico data, then they will not pop up anything lah. They just give you the heading of the table. Okay, so this one is about how you are going to retrieve a data. Okay, if you have a condition, if you have a where clause, then you have to start with the select list of the columns, follow with the word from, and then table name, and then next one, because you have a condition, you have to follow with the word where and what is the condition that you have. These conditions depend, okay? For example, right now we are using the equal. But then after this, there are certain arithmetic operator and also condition that can be used. All those things I'm going to cover in your SQL in your Oracle Academy notes lah. Okay, and then the next one, if you want to sort the data, okay. So for example, right now you can see that write a select statement to sort data from any table. So if you want to sort the data, then you have to use the word order by. Okay, so that's why for this one, under order by still must start with the word select and from. This select and from is compulsory for select statement. But then if you have a condition, then you are going to use where. But right now, this one, you are going to order or you are going to sort the data. If you want to sort the data, then you have to use the word order by. And then which column that you are going to sort, okay? So it is depends whether you want to sort just only based on one column, two column, three column, and so on lah, okay? So you have to list down the column name. So if you put column A, column B, column C, so they will arrange based on column A first, and then after that follow with the column B and column C, okay? And then after order by, normally we will end either using the word ASC or DESC. If you are using ASC, it means that it is ascending order. Okay, but if you're using DESC, that one is descending order. Okay, so for this one, but you have to remember, if you see that, okay, based on my example right now, I put select star, it means that I'm going to view all of the column from where? From my table customer, but I want to sort, okay, I want to sort my data. Then right now you can see that I want to sort with based on the country column. So that's why I put here order by country. Okay, but you can see that after country, I didn't put ASC or DESC. Okay, so normally SQL, if you didn't end with the word ASC or DESC, SQL will assume that that one is ascending order. So that's why if you want to sort using ascending order, it is up to you whether you want to use or whether you want to put the word ASC or you just want to didn't put anything. So automatically SQL will know that one is ascending order. But if you want to sort using the descending order, then you have to put the word DESC. Okay, so that one please remember, okay? And then, okay, this one just only for the selection. Next one, we are going to move to the grouping. You want to group your data, okay? So if you want to group your data, you have to follow with the word group by, okay? So as usual, you have to put select from, okay, and then you can put group by. But based on my example of the syntax, if you have the condition, then you have to put the condition first lah, okay? And then the next one, if you want to order by, then you can order by, you can provide order by. So you have to remember from here, select from and where, you have to follow this correct sequence. You cannot put select, where, and then from. That one wrong. So SQL will not give you any result. So that's why you have to start with the word select, follow with the from, and follow with the word where. But for group and order, it is up to you, interchangeable. If you want to put group order by first, before group by also can. So it is up to you lah for this one. Okay.
Dr. Hisham, okay, tak ada. Dr. Hisham dengan Dr. Nizam, penyelaran Puan Hasrina di sana. Saya dah baca dah sekejap.
Okay, so right now, for example, right now you can see that select this term. I will tell you later. This one actually relating to the special function. Okay, but you can see that if I put select customer ID and country, it means that I'm going to have two different columns. It is customer ID and country. From where I can get the customer ID and country? So it is from the customer. But you can see that if they put group by country, it means that if my country, I have 3 data from USA, I have 2 data from Malaysia, and then I have 5 data from China. It means that they are going to group, okay? First one, for example, USA. Next one, Malaysia, and then next one only China. So they will combine all those particular data. They will group. So at least you will know, oh, okay, so right now my data number 1 until data number 5, that one from USA. Okay, the next following data from Malaysia, next following data from China. So that one under grouping. Or for example, for myself also right now, my assignment, okay, I want to group my assignment relating to the student group. So that's why I can put here group by student group. or group by class group. So automatically they will pop up everything starting with the A, B, and then after that follow with the C lah. But then right now, your my guru also myself, I cannot view. I didn't have that particular option. So that's why I have to scroll down here and there. But then for you, once you create your database, you can see that, okay, that one can be improved. This means that I still can group my particular data. Okay, but if you want to group, then you have to use the word group by. Okay, so that's all. Okay, the task. So that's why you can see that you have 5 different tasks that you are going to do for your exercise number or exercise part 3. So now, I'm using the earphone. Okay, so now, now I'm going to open my Oracle notes. Must a bit. Okay, and then together with my Zen tool. Okay, so for this one, right now, I hope that for you also you can arrange your screen like what I arranged lah, because maybe it is too small for you to see. Okay, so that's why you can arrange your screen. Because okay, for this one, you can see that under database programming section 1, section 2.1. So you can see that we are going to use, or we are going to start with the how we are going to identify about the column, character, and row. This one actually almost repeated with what that we already covered in our database design chapter lah.
Pertama sekali terima kasih semua pada penyelara yang buat dan tim yang betul-betul mempunyai untuk menyiapkan dokumen tembakan.
You can see that based on this part, apply concatenation. Previously in my class, I'm using Oracle, so that's why I can use concatenation. But if you're using Xen after this, we can type the concatenation operator, but they will not give the exact result. Okay, so that's why when I Google, when I search, okay, actually you have to type in the syntax, other syntax for the concatenation. But I will show to you lah actually how you can use concatenation. Except I have to stop for a while. Can you go through by yourself first? First, I have to stop for a while, because I have to respond to this one. You can see that we are, as what I already told you before, under concatenation. This part, I'm going to show to you about the symbol, but then sorry, they will not give the output as what if you're using the complete Oracle. Okay, and then the next one, we are going to know about the select distinct. Previously in my notes, I didn't put select distinct. So right now we have another statement. It's about select distinct. Okay, so that's why for this one, okay, so that's why for this one, you have to try after this. What happened if you put select distinct, and then what will happen if you didn't put the select distinct? So myself also actually I'm going to show to you after this. And then the next one about execute, save, and edit. So for this one, relating to the Apex Oracle lah, we just ignore because you already know that in our XAMPP automatically when you run previously under part 1 and part 2, automatically they will save. Okay, but for the query part for this one, okay, then you have to, so far our XAMPP they will not save. Okay, they just save the structure. Okay, because this one you can see that it is more to the Apex Oracle lah. Okay, all these things that we are going to know after this, because we already know that our data keep on increasing, decreasing, and also we can choose or we can select based on our own needs. Okay, this is for example, if you are using previous them. So that's why for myself also lah, in late 90s, maybe you are not born yet during that time, if we are using Microsoft Access, then we also have to type in terms of the, we have to type one by one because we didn't have this interface. After this, I'm going to show to you lah example in the exam what actually I'm used when I'm using Oracle AI. So during Oracle AI, actually they just only have a black screen of the screen, and then after that only you can have a white screen. Then you have to type everything. So that's why, for example, for this one, okay, right now we assume that our database, we didn't have any, or we didn't have the interface like what that we have here. So if you want to get the details about the table structure, okay, so for example for this one, okay, you have under shipment, retail. Okay, so for the retail, if you go to the structure, then you can see that you can have the structure. So under retail center, I have type, unique ID, and also address together with all of the structure. But previously, because we didn't have this interface, then you have to use the word describe. Okay, describe. Okay, describe, and then the next one follow with your table name. For example, I want to get information about the retail center. Okay, so and then after I put that one, then I will hit button go. Let's see. So you can see that they will provide this information lah. So they will give you the detail structure. If you didn't have the information using this interface. Okay, so you still can put the word describe in order to make sure that you can get the details information about that particular structure. So this is example in the Apex Oracle, almost similar with what when we do in our Zen screen, just only the name of this part lah. But then at least you will know that, okay, you will have column name together with the data type and also length. And then you will know which one that you already set as a primary key and so on. Okay. And then, okay, that one about the describe. Okay, this one, what I told you that we cannot use this symbol. We cannot get the actual output. Okay. So for example, for myself right now, okay, if I go to the table structure, you can see that for the table structure, I will have my type, unique ID together with the address. Okay. So, and then together with the data. Let's see. Okay, normally concatenation, actually we are going to connect or link together our column. Okay, so for this one, you can see that if you want to use the symbol, this is the operator for the concatenation. Okay, you have to use the symbol, and then you can link lah. The syntax is string 1 concatenation symbol, string 2 concatenation symbol, and so on until how many string that you are going to combine. Okay, then the next one. Okay, so for example like this, you can see that select, okay, department ID, the first column, and then you have the concatenation symbol and then department name. Okay, so when you put that way, you can see that they will combine. Okay, then actually it is a department ID, but then administration actually department name. So you can see that beginning or in your structure, actually this one is 2 different column. But if you use the concatenation symbol, they will put or they will create in 1 column. Okay, and then after that, then you have to put the word from together with follow with the department lah. So let me show from here, but then actually we cannot get the output. They just combine the column without the output. Okay, so select, for example, select, then I'm going to use unique ID. Okay, concatenation symbol. Okay, and then the next one, address. Okay, from which table? So my unique ID and address actually comes from the table retail center. So I'm going to put there from retail center. Okay, and then end with the semicolon. Okay, so let's copy this one first. Let me hit button go. Okay, so you can see that actually successful. Okay, They will combine unique ID and address, but they will not provide the result. So that's the problem lah. Actually, based on this one, that's why when I try to search, they have to create a long statement, but then not using this particular interface. You still have to use the normal coding, so cannot be solved using the using this interface lah. But you have to know, if you want to link, for example, after this, if you work in the actual environment, where in the actual environment you are going to use relating to the complete Oracle, then you have to use select, follow with your table name and then concatenation symbol. Then you will have the output lah. Okay, so this is the example of the output. And then this example, if you want to provide the space, because if you can see from here, there are no space, okay, between department ID and also department name. But if you want to put the space, so you can see that you have to put the combination of the concatenation. So that's why you have department ID, concatenation symbol, and then you have to put blank space in the single quotation and then follow with the concatenation symbol and then the next column lah. And then if you hit button go, then you will get this result. So that's why you can see that 10 and then space follow with the administration. Okay, so this one up to you how many space that you are going to add. So it is depends on you, how many times that you hit space bar at this particular combination of the single quotation. Okay, so that one about the concatenation operator. And then this one, if you want to put the alias, okay, it means that if you want to rename, you can see that if you just put like this select, okay, and then what column that you want to be appeared, follow with your table name. So you can see that they will appear based on how that you type from your statement, from your select statement. Okay, so if you want to change, okay, this one actually you are going to use alias. So that's why from here you can see that, okay, select this one actually your concatenation symbol, but you put the word S, okay, and then S follow with what the name that you are going to put. So that's why you can see that S or alias actually you are going to rename your column. So that's why for this one, as what I already told you, that in the database structure for the table name cannot have a space. But if you think that based on the query, okay, from the output you want to get a space, then you have to use the word alias. Okay, so that's why you have to put the alias. That then you can see that department and info they have a space. Same with this one, okay, employee name also got space. That's why you have to use the word alias. It means that you are going to rename your column structure, okay, or your column name. Then you can use the word alias in case you want to change. Or for example, previously you put F and AME, and then you can see that, oh, it is not nice actually for your user. Maybe your user will not understand what is F, okay? We didn't know what is F. Then that's why you can change again as using the alias as a column name, okay? And then the next one, in terms of the literal value, okay, so as a literal value for this one, you can see that we already know our literal value actually we can accept character, number or date. But sorry to say, as what I already told you so many times, for us under Xam we cannot accept the date. But then we just accept the number and character. Then you can see that if that one is a character, then you have to put in the single quotation. But if that one just only a number, then it's okay if you didn't put in the quotation. But then again, if you're using a complete DBMS tools, then if you set as a date also you have to put in the single quotation. Okay, so this one about the literal value. And then this one as what I already repeat before this lah. And then this part, they just want to view based on the result, what you are going to view from the result, okay? Sorry, this one you can see that they have a lot, okay? They have select, okay, last name and so on, but then you can see here actually relating to the literal. And then again, this part also actually you cannot do in a normal DBMS. This one, a complete Oracle, yes, you can do it, okay? But you have to know under alias, this part, after S actually you have to put, sorry, after alias actually you have to put in the single quotation. So please make sure that you put in the single quotation lah, this one. But then the notes, Here you can see that they didn't put. Okay, so you have to change that a bit. Okay, so that one about the literal value, and then okay, this is another example about the literal. Okay, so now we are going to base on the select distinct. Okay, under select distinct, you can see that we want to eliminate duplicate row. So for example, you can see that um, based on this part, okay, if you are using select department ID from employee, so if you put select department ID, for sure they will pop up one row department ID, and then they will pop up all your record. Okay, so they will repeat it. So for example, if you have 3 record with the number 90, then they will list down all 90. If you have, for example, number 10, if you have 100, all the 100 will be listed. But if you want to know about just only department ID, then you can use select distance. Okay, so sorry, select distinct. So that's why if you use select distinct, you can see that even though based on the previous slide, 90 actually repeated 3 times in your data, but then since your select statement see the word select distinct, so that's why they are not going to repeat your data. So they just directly give you just only one record or just only one data for that particular column. Okay, if you are using the select distinct where you want to eliminate the duplicate row. Okay, this one execute edit. Again, this part relating to the Apex Oracle, so we just ignore that part. Hold on.
Dilarang saya dengan global as dengan
Okay. Oh, okay, luckily done. Okay, so next one we are going to base on limit row. Limit row actually it is related to my my SQL statement for this particular part where we are using the where clause. So it is actually under the third exercise lah for this part. Okay, so that's why for this one, under limit the row selection or limit the row select, so you can see that we are using the where clause syntax. And then this one actually relating to the business perspective. So that's why, as what I already told you before, about the condition actually depends on your needs, which one that you want actually. Then, okay, this one, we try to overcome the information overload and so on. And then you can see that under select statement, okay, previously we already know, okay, select, and then you can put star, or if you put star, it means that you are going to get all the columns. As what I already told you before, for example, if my retail center table right now, okay, if I'm using select star from retail, okay, if I hit button go, then you can see that they will pop up all of my column, okay, all of my column together with the record. So that one under select star. But if you want to put select distinct, then select distinct normally you have to base on the columns lah. Okay, so normally for this one just only one column. So that's why for me, but then for me actually you cannot get the difference lah, because I just only have one data. But if you have more data, then you can see. For example, if you have start, there are few, okay, RC 102, 103, 104 under retail center, then they just only appear one for the type. So for this one, if you have a lot of data, then you can try by yourself, okay? So that's why you can put select, follow with word distinct, and then the next one, your column name, which one that you are going to get. So you can see that select distinct just only a column, it is not a columns. So just only a column. So that's why you can see that from here, you just put column. Or if not, then you also can put the expression alias. Expression alias, it means that you are going to rename, okay, as what, okay? So for example, unique ID as unique identification. So you can put SS lah, okay? And then the next one, follow with your table name from where from the which table. And then since if you have a condition, as what I already told you before, then you have to start with the word where and follow with your condition. So we are going to see after this one by one about the condition. Okay. So normally for the condition, this is the syntax under condition. So you can see that under syntax of the condition, we have to follow with the word where, and then you have to identify what is the column name. And then the next one, comparison condition. Comparison condition, you will have equal, you will have greater than, less than, and so on. So after this, actually, we have several example of the comparison condition. Okay, but then for this one, actually, you also already learned in your mathematics subject. And then the next one follow with the comparison value. Okay, but you can see that, please take note that alias cannot be used in the where clause. So you cannot put as, and so on. No, cannot, because it is not accepted in the where clause. Okay. So that's why from here you can see that this is example. The first example, where without condition. So without condition, for example, we just want to view employee ID, first name and last name. So that's why you put select employee ID, first name, last name. And then that's why in your table, you are going to have 3 different columns. Why 3 different columns? Because after the word select here, you have 3 different column name. Okay. And then the next one, just only from employee. So you can see that you are going to have 3 different data. So it means that there are 3 data have been saved in your employee table. So all of the data will be viewed. If you have 1,000 of data, all of 1,000 data will be viewed lah from your table. But your second point here, you can see that we are going to add where clause, where we want to limit those rows. For example, right now, we are going to search for the employee ID equal to 101. So if you want to search employee ID is 101, then you have to put here, you can see that where, follow with your column name, from which column that you get the data. And then the next one, your comparison operator, where we are using equal. So that's why you have to understand the keyword, the English keyword for this one. You have to Google, you have to double check again, okay, based on the example. And then we have 101. Please, if this 101 under employee ID, if you set as a number or integer, yes, you can just only put that particular number. But if this employee ID you set as a character, then you have to put in the single quotation, okay? So that's why, for example, for myself right now, okay, I want to put select star. Okay, so it means that I want to be appear everything from where? From my table retail center. Okay, and then I have a condition. Once I have a condition, I have to use where? Where my type. Okay, equal to I hope that I can get the result lah, because previously I just copy and paste. Okay, before I got any error, let's me copy this one first. Okay, let's me hit button go. So cannot ya. Okay, let's hit button go. So cannot. So I have to key in lah this one. Okay, type equal to Keren Bahambal Expressmo Retail Center. SMARRETALLTENTER. Okay, so let me copy first before I got any error. Okay, still got problem. Where did I put something is wrong? So now I already deactivate my retail center. Let me delete again. Type equal to small. Okay, sorry. Okay, so that's why I have to to type everything. I cannot copy and paste. I cannot copy and paste from here, from the output. So that's why you can see that if I type small retail center, then they will pop up to me the result small retail center. So this is the one that you have to copy lah. You have to copy the output and then you have to paste at the output part. Okay, for this one. That's why if you notice that okay, under each of this part, then you have to copy and paste output, similar with what that you already done before this lah. Okay, so that one about the with the where condition. So you can put any where condition depend on your data, what actually you want. Okay, for example, if you want to get all the list of the retail center or the information of the retail center for the that located at Slim River. So if located at Slim River, then you have to put here where address equal to Slim River. Okay, so you can try based on your data after this for this one. That one about the where clause. And then you can see that this is the symbol that can be accepted in the where clause. Okay. So you can see that if equal, this is the symbol. Greater than, this is the symbol greater and equal and so on lah. Okay, until not. Okay. So if greater than until less or equal to this one just only can be used for your data type that you set as a number or integer. If you set as a character, cannot. Okay, so that's why please remember that one, that comparison just only for those data type or for the column with the data type that you already set as a number or integer. Okay, but for the equal to and not equal to, this one can be accepted for both integer and also your character. So you have to remember this part because it is not stated in your notes. Okay. And then, okay, this is an example lah. For example, right now you can see that select employee ID, last name and department ID. So that's why we have 3 different columns because after select, we put 3 different column name from where that we can get employee ID until department ID. Okay, it is appear in the table employee. But then right now you can see that we have a condition where employee with the department ID 90. So that's why you have to put there where department ID equal to 90. So just only department ID with number 90 only will be appeared. Okay. But if you put here where employee ID equal to 100, so it means that just only this data will be appeared. So that's why I repeat again, it is depends on your needs. Okay. Here, okay, so for this one, for sure lah, you already know that if it is a character must enclose in the single quotation. Okay, but the number no need to put in the quotation, but it's okay. You still can put in the quotation for the number. So this is example. Taylor, since it is a character, then you have to enclose with the single quotation marks. Same with the Jones. Okay, and then okay, so that's why this part you can see that we are going to use another operator. So less than actually can be used. Okay, date, yes, it's okay, can be used for the date. Okay. But then you can see that once it is a character, no, you cannot use this particular comparison operator. So you have to know again, repeated based on what I already told you before. So what will happen if this one, if we put here select last name, salary, where employee salary less or equal to 3,000. So that's why you can see that actually in this one, they will pop up table. Okay, with the 2 different column, the first column last name, the next one is salary. But then under salary, they just provide to you the data that have number 3,000 or less. Okay, so that one about the comparison operator. So you can try lah again for this one. Actually, you can try based on my exercise under this exercise number 3. So exercise number 3, you can try a lot. Which one relating to the, maybe you want to use equal symbol, greater symbol, less and equal. So it means that you can try for 6 times relating to this part, but then it is depends on your data, what you have in your own data. So that one for the chapter number 2, actually relating to the how you have a condition, you are going to limit the row selection. Okay. And then the next one, okay, we are going to use the, we are going to use the comparison operator. So comparison operator, actually we are going to use the word between, in and like condition. And then we also going to know about the is null and is not null after this. So this one is about the comparison operator. Previously, in this part under limit row, okay, we also already use comparison operator, but then this comparison operator more to the sign, okay. In the subtopic 2.3, this comparison operator actually relating to the statement lah. So under statement, we just only have between, in, and also like condition, okay. So that's why you can see that you can use, okay, I can meet you between 10 a.m. to 11 p.m. Okay, so you will know that it means that it is between that particular range from 10 a.m. until 11 a.m. Okay, and the next one, like, okay, for this one, as what I already told you before, sometimes we cannot remember everything. So that's why we are going to use the like statement. Okay, and the last one for the in, okay, under in, it means that you are going to get multiple data, or you are going to put the multiple data for that particular part. Okay, we are going to know for this one by one. This one that we already learned in our previous subtopic 2.2 about this comparison operator, but now we are going to base on the specific operator under comparison. We are going to use between and in, and also like. Okay. So you can see that based on this part, between and in operator used to select and display row based on range of value. So it means that we have a range of value, then we are going to use between and. Okay. So between and also actually you can use based on this comparison operator. So that's why, as what I already told you before, sometimes you can use multiple way in order to get a same result. Okay, so it is up to you. You can use normal comparison operator, or you are going to use the specific comparison operator. Okay, so for example, for this one, you can see that, okay, select this part for sure lah. I hope that you already remember. Okay, if you want to use comparison operator between and, so you can see that you have to start that one condition under where you have to follow with your column name, and then you have to put the word between what? Okay, so now between 9,000 and 11,000. So if you run this one, if you are using word and, so you can see that you will also get result 9,000 and 11,000. Okay, because that one is between. Okay, but if you didn't want to use the word between, you also have the other way. For example, I'm not sure lah how to use the word between, or how I'm going to use the comparison operator between, but then I just only familiar with the normal operator. Okay, if you want to use the normal operator, then you can see that you can use this symbol. Okay, greater or equal to and less than equal to. But you have to remember, if you didn't want to use the word between, you have to put name of the column before and also after n. Okay, so that's why you can see that column name, okay, and then after that word n, and then another column name. So salary repeated twice. But if you are using the word between, you can see that the column name just only appeared once. So it is up to you which one that you want to use. Actually, they will pop up the same result, okay, relating to this part. Okay, so that one between, and then now we are going to know about in. Okay, in it means that you are going to have multiple data, and then normally in, okay, which is more can be used for your the data type that you set as a character. So that's why from here, for example, you can see that we have word country ID in UK and CA. So that's why you can see that for this one, actually, we are going to get data, okay, about city, state, province, and also country ID that have country ID CA and UK. Okay, so you put the word in, and then if you have, for example, Malaysia and so on, you can put lah. Then you just comma, next one, and so on. Okay, so that one for in. In, it means that you are going to get a multiple data, but then that data that you already set your column type as a character. Okay, for between just only can be used for the data that you set your column type as a number. Okay, so that one you have to remember. It means that you are going to get a multiple data with a single query statement. Okay, and then you can see that for this one, you also can use your equal symbol. Equal symbol, this one as what I already told you before, equal symbol can also be used as for the character. So if you didn't want to use the word in, then you can replace your where country ID in UK and CA based on this column. But you can replace based on this one, where country ID equal to UK or country ID equal to Canada. Okay, so I hope that you know lah, okay, what's the difference between and or and not. But then after this, actually, I'm going to explain lah for you. Okay, so for or, it means that either one correct or either one true will be appeared. But if you're using and, it means that both must be correct. So that one relating to the mathematic operation. And then for the like, okay, this like actually we want to get data, but then we are not sure about the exact item. So we are not sure about the spelling, because for example, previously I told you that, okay, if myself, I just spell SMAL, retail center, okay, like this one, I will not get the result. Okay, or if I spell retail center CENTRE, also I will not get the result. So that's why if you want to avoid those problems, so that's why you are going to use the word like condition. Okay, and then under like condition, you can see that they will have two symbol with the like. It is either a percentage symbol or underscore symbol. So these two known as a wildcard character. Okay, so let's see what happened. So this one I already told you lah, percentage symbol and also underscore symbol. But for the percentage symbol, you can see that represent any sequence of 0 or more character. But if you're using underscore symbol, just only represent a single character. Okay. So right now, you can see that, for example, okay, I have this particular select statement. Select, okay, what is my column name to be appeared? And then this column name exists in which table? Okay, so that's why you put from, follow with your table name. And then your condition right now, okay, actually related to the column last name. So you are going to put last name and then word like, okay, since this one actually relating to the character, then you have to put in the single quotation. Okay, so you can see that before O here, we just only have one underscore, but then after O, you can see that we have percentage symbol. So since before O, you have single underscore, that's why you can see that before O, you have 1K, before O, you have 1L, before O, you have 1M. Okay, so that's why if you put a single underscore, it means that you just make sure just only one character appear before the word O. Okay, but then after O, you can see that you use percentage symbol. So percentage symbol, it means that depends. It is either 6, 7, 2 or 0 also will be appeared. Okay, so that's why you have to know whether you know the specific spelling or specific character before that, or if you didn't know, then play safe, just put percentage symbol. Okay, and then okay, this is another example. So you can see that based on this part, which of the following last name could have been written from the above query. So above query, you can see that where last name like one underscore, so, and then after one underscore, letter O. So SO, okay. OO, okay. FO, okay. MO also okay. And then after O, you can see that we have percentage symbol. So semua Smith, you can see that this one which is very, very long also will be appeared. And then if you have one character also will be appeared, two character appeared, or without any character also will be appeared. So it means that if you run the above this query, so all the 4 data will be appeared. Okay. And then, okay, so this one relating to the operator before this, but you can see that if you want to use, okay, you want to use the percentage symbol or you want to use the underscore symbol, because you already know that this one is a wildcard. But if you want to omit the wildcard while the searching process, then you have to put the / symbol. Okay, so backslash symbol it means that for this one you are going to escape this underscore. Okay, how you are going to escape? Let's see based on this particular example. Okay, so if you put here, okay, percentage, this part also missing, percentage, and then backslash, and then your underscore follow with the R. So that's why you can see that before your, since you start with the percentage symbol, so that's why you have your letter before the word R. But you can see that this one, this underscore symbol, they will not assume as a wildcard because you put the underscore. But then this one missing. So please add, please add underscore here. Myself, I cannot change because this one is copyright. They protect their notes. So that's why I cannot change here. Myself also previously, I tried to add comment. So many times actually, I try to put, okay, for example, if I put comment. I can put comment backslash here, but then I cannot save. Still I can put here, I cannot save because this file is protected. But that's why if you have a data or if you have your hard copy, then you can put your backslash symbol. But then you can change, you cannot change based on this data. It is right protected. Okay, and then the next one is about is null and is not null. Okay, is null in is not null actually relating to the cell that it is either we have data or we didn't have data. Okay, so for example, right now you can see that where manager ID is null. This one again, their notes missing. Actually, if you can see that select last name manager ID, actually they should have two different columns. Okay, the next one is manager ID, but their table also wrong here. Okay, manager ID from where? From employee, but manager ID is null. It means that they will return last name where at the manager ID is empty. Okay, so that one is null. Okay, so for example, for this one, for example, I want to search my student that still didn't do their test, for example. Okay, so that's why I can put student, select student ID and test marks from student where test mark is none. So they will pop up to me all my student ID for those who didn't have any mark test for that particular part because you are using is null. But if you are using is not null, it means that you want to get, okay, list of the record with the data. So that's why you can see that at a commission PCT, okay, since we set as a is not null, then they will give all the data that have the result. But then for those last name without commission PCT, it will not be appeared. So that one is about is null and it's not null. Okay, so that's all for this part. Between, in, and like, so all these things actually almost you can use intertwine between or interchangeable between this normal operator symbol, or you are going to use this particular statement, okay, between, in, and also like. Okay, but you have to remember if between just only for integer, okay, and if, in, and like can be used both, okay, integer and also character. Okay, so that one actually relating to the select statement. Then I'm going to move to the next one. Logical comparison and precedent rules. So this one actually we already cover in our database design chapter. Okay, about the logical comparison. And then which one that you should be appeal first and so on lah. So this one we already covered, but it's okay. We are going to go through again. Normally under this particular section or this particular subtopic, we are going to know about the comparison to restrict the rule written based on two or more conditions. So what will happen if we have two or more conditions? Previously, we just only have one condition, but if we have two conditions, then we are going to use the logical comparison and also precedence rule. Okay, this one repeated relating to the mathematics subject. Okay, too many things depend on one condition. This one just only the purpose lah. Okay, so now This part actually we are going to base on this logical operator. It is either and, not, or. Okay. So this one you can just see lah. Okay, for example, you are using the comparison operator and, so it means that both must be true. So they have the example from here. But if you are using the word and, any one true accepted. Okay, based on that two condition. But then not, they will return something else. So that's why here you have to remember. And then must be both condition true. Or either one true also accepted. If not, then they will return something else compared to your condition. Okay, so for example, right now you can see that, okay, select salary name, department ID and salary from employee where department ID greater than 50 and salary greater than 12,000. Since we are using the word and, it means that they will identify department ID greater than 50, and then this one we just only have 90. Okay, and then the next one for those salary greater than 12,000. So that's why if department ID which is less than 50, they will not pop up in the result, or if your salary is also less than 12,000, also will not be pop up in the result. Okay, so it means that if you are using operator and, then you have to make sure that both conditions are correct. Okay. And then the next one, okay, this one which is another example lah. Okay. So right now hire date greater than 1st January 1998 and job ID like SA. Okay, like SA, okay, because beginning there are no what you call that, no operator. Okay, but then the next one you have this symbol, percentage symbol. So that's why you can see that we have SA, and then all comes or start with the word SA will be appear at the job ID. And then this one also you can see that hire date greater than 1998, 1st January 1998, and job ID fulfill this requirement, must be both correct. Okay, for the operator, sorry, for the or operator, this one actually either one correct or either one satisfied, then it's okay. Okay, so that's why for this one you can see that we are going to select these particular columns from department table, where the first one you can see that location ID equal to 2500 or manager ID equal to 124. Okay, so that's why you can see that manager ID. Okay, let's move this one first. Okay, location, you can see that location right now. Okay, because they are using the word or, for example, based on the first data for shipping actually they check, okay, location ID, is it location ID is 2500? Oh no, location ID is not 2500. But when they check manager ID equal to 124, oh, okay, so it means that they fulfill the second condition. So that's why this one will be appeared. What happened to the next one? Okay, next one, location ID is 2500. Check location ID. Yes, location ID is 2500. But then what about manager ID? Is it 124? No. Even though it is no, but either one is correct. That's why they still can provide or can give you the result. Okay. So that one about the or operator, either one. Okay. And then the next one, not operator. Not operator, it means that something else. Okay. It means that they are going to return those statements that not satisfied. So that's why you can see that where location ID not in 1700 and 1800. So that's why they will pop up everything where the location ID not following these two conditions. So that one, it means that they will give the negative result. So that one about the not operator. Okay, precedence. So precedence, what happened? For example, if you have a lot, okay, for example, right now you have and also you have O. So which one should we solve first, or which one that normally will be solved first by the SQL? Okay, so that's why you have to remember this is the power of the precedence or the rules of the precedence. Okay, so normally they will solve those with the mathematical operator first, and then if you have the concatenation, they will solve concatenation first until the last one is O. Okay, but then this one we just have and O. You can refer to the what you call that, the rules number 7 and 8. So it means that they will check based on the department ID and first name first, Okay, so make sure that these two requirement is correct, and then after that only they will check if these two correct or last name is equal this particular situation, then they will provide to you the result. Okay, so this is the rule, which one that you are going to solve first. So, or actually the last one will be solved in the mathematics process. So similar with your SQL statement. Okay, so for this part, you can see that select last name. Okay, and then the next one, you can see that we have the concatenation operator and then follow with the space and then salary times this figure. So this one actually relate. It means that they are going to provide to you the result salary time 1.05. Okay, and then they change the name of this particular column as a employee race. So that's why you can see that the first column is employee race, but in the employee race they have this particular result. So that's why you still can actually this part they combine last name and also salary column. But salary column you have to make sure that this one you already set as an integer or number, because you are going to perform the mathematical calculation. If you set as a character, you cannot get the result for this one. Okay, so that one for the employee race. And then next for the department ID, and the last one is field name. So that's why you have three different columns. So from where we get this result? From the table employee. So you can see that we have the word and also or. So it means that first one, okay, they will identify department ID in 50 and 80. Okay, and then the next one, first name like C. So that's why they will identify, okay, 50 and 80. Which one consists of the 50 and 80? Okay. And then the next one, their first name. Okay, first name is start with the C. So which one will be appeared? Okay. So it means that right now the first condition, you can see that they will appear this part lah, 50 and Curtis. Okay. But then the next one, okay, or if not just fulfill the requirement department ID and also Curtis, but you can see that all last name must have the letter S. So they will identify where is the last name with the letter S. So, but at least they have to solve this part first, because the comparison operator is N, and then after they get the result for this one, and then only they will move to O part. Okay. Okay, so this one they explain to you lah. Myself before this I already explained, but more details then you can go through again, starting from the slide number 16. Okay, until slide number 17. So what they will solve or how they are going to solve that particular part. Okay, and then the next one about the function. This one. Am I doing this? No. Okay, now we are going to base on the sorting the row. Sorting the row actually it is related to sorting part. Okay, related to the exercise number 4. So exercise number 4, you can see that I already put the word order by. So you can arrange this one. It is either you are going to use ASC or DESC. So 3.2, okay. This one, okay. Then actually you are going to change order by this one, okay. Okay, so if you want to sorting, then as what you already know before, we are going to use the statement order by. Okay, and then order by, normally they will identify several rows written in the query. But then from here, you can see that normally, okay, order by will be sort using the ascending order. So that's why, as what I already told you before, for example, if myself right now, I just put order by country, then automatically, okay, your SQL know that, oh, okay, now I'm going to perform the ascending order, okay. But if you are using the ascending order, if your data is numeric, it means that they will start from the lowest until highest. So for example, your data starting from number 0 until 100, so they will arrange the data from 0 until 100 lah. Okay, and then if it is relating to the date, they will put the earliest date first. And then if character, then they will be based on the alphabetical order. It means that it will start from the A to the Z. Okay. But if you use now, okay, for the now value, normally now value will be arranged first. Okay. But if you are using null last, then you not now will be appear first, and then after that follow with the null value. Okay, so that one is about the arrangement lah. If you are using the ascending order, but descending order reverse based on what that you already what have been listed here. Okay, so for example here you can see that order by higher date. So that's why for the higher date right now they will start with the 17 June 1987 until the latest one is 17 February 1996. Okay, and then this one is about the descending order, so they will reverse lah. So that's why they will start from the 2000, and then last one is 1996. And then for this one, as a alias, so this part you already know lah. It means that we are going to change the column name. Okay, and then now sorting. Okay, so for this part, hold on, let's check this. Sorting with other column. In the following example, the record is sorted. The last name, column even though this column is not listed. Okay. Okay. So for this one, okay, for example, based on the sorting other column, you can see that right now what we want to be appeared is first name, employee ID and first name. So that's why after select you put here employee ID and first name, okay, and then from where, and then this is the condition. But then order by last name. Last name actually also exists in the table employee, but you just didn't want that particular data to be appeared. So for example, myself lah, I want to view my student ID and student name for those which is based on their final exam marks. But final exam marks, I didn't want to be appear in my table. I just want appear student ID and student name. But I want to be relating to the final exam mark. So I still can put order by final exam mark. So it means that it doesn't mean that it is compulsory for you for the column name that you sort should be appear on your output table. So you still can use even though it is not appear on the output table, but then as long as it is in the same table. Okay. And then order execution, this one I already told you before this about the execution. Okay, so this one the arrangement. Okay, so that's why you can see that must start with the from, where, and for the select statement, you have to start with the select, where, and from. But how they execute by your SQL, actually they will check the table first, and then after that they will identify the condition, and only they will check which column that they want to view, and then the last one is about the result set. So this one actually behind what being done by the SQL statement by your DBMS, okay, about the execution. Okay. And then for the sorting multiple column, previously we just sort just only from the single column, such as from your last name. But right now we are going to know how we are going to sort from the multiple column. So if you want to sort from the multiple column, very simple, you just list down name of the columns that you are going to sort. So for example, right now order by department ID and also the last name. So that's why they are going to arrange based on department ID first, and then after that last name. So you can see that, okay, we have department ID 10, department ID 20, and department ID 50. Oh, for 10 it's okay lah, just only a single value. But then for the 20 we have two data. But then for the two data, we are going also to sort using the alphabetical order. So F will come first after hash. okay, before hash. And then D also will come from MA or MU until V. Okay, so this one is means that you want to sort from the multiple column. Okay, and this one also you can differentiate. For example, you can see that the first column you want to sort using the descending order, and then the second column you want to sort using the ascending order. So it is up to you. You can play around, okay, relating to this one. It doesn't mean that, okay, if I put order by, so if I put descending, it means that both using descending order. No, you still can, depends on your own needs, okay. So which part that you want to use descending order, then you have to put the word DASC lah, okay. Okay, so that one about the order clause. And then next one, okay, we are going to base on the function. But then for this function actually related to the multiple input, you will get the single output. Before this, all of our function just a single input, then you are going to get the single output. Okay, but right now under our function, that what we are going to do for this one, actually we are going to have a multiple input, then you are going to get a single result. Okay, so that one under multiple row function. Okay, so for this one you can see that for the single row function, normally we are using for the character, number, date, and also conversion function. So single row function can be used for any types of data type. But multiple row function can only be used for those that you already set as a integer. Okay, so that's why this one for the single row. And then okay, but then for the multiple row, you can see that because it is a multiple function, that's why you can perform such as max. You are going to get the maximum number, you are going to get the minimum number, and also average. Okay, max number, for example, based on my quiz before this. Okay, I want to have, okay, for example, in my table, actually I have 50 data. But then for that 50 data, for 50 student list, I want to get the maximum marks. Okay, from that 50 student, what is the maximum marks? So I will put max marks, select max marks, okay, from table marks. Then I will get the, maybe the highest one is 50, then they will give me the 50. Okay, and then minimum number, average, they will count everything and then they will divide into how many data that you have. So that's why how you are going to write that one. Actually, you can see that in my example. Okay, I already provide here. So if you are going to use this multiple row, you have to start with the word select, and then you have to put those function. It is either count, max, min, or average. And then the next one, you have to identify your column, which one that you are going to use the multiple row function. For count, yes, you can use for the customer ID. For example, this customer ID I set as a character. So count can be used for the data type character, but max, min, and average just only can be used for those that you set as a number or integer. So how you are going to use this multiple row, then you can refer to my example here. I already provide example, so it means that you can provide the formula there. Okay, so now actually I already done all of your select statement. So now I will open for you to show to me based on your situation. Then we are going to solve. Okay, we are going to solve based on your own problems. Because for this one, I want to base on your own data. Then you can try, okay, relating to my general deselect statement, but then you can refer to the all process starting from the database programming 2.1 until database programming 3.3. So let's open for you. I leave for you to show to me and also your friend. Then we are going to solve together. So any of you want to present, then I will stop presenting. Okay, so you can show to me and also your friend. So we still have around 1 hour. Please show to me what's problem that you face. So you have to try lah. Now I have 42 lah, excluding myself, I have 42 students. So at least I will get maybe around 10 students that will share with me and also your friend. Because as what I already told you before this, for this one, I'm not going to hands on. I will let you try and then I want to see the problems from what you have done. Okay, so please share whatever that you already done, then we are going to solve together. Please, we have 42 students. So I for sure, I assume that you will have problems. So please share with me.
A tables name. Tables name kan? Oh no, primary. From. Doktor kejap saya
Kenapa dia
menggigil.
jadi highlight tu?
I don't know.
Klik
Okay.
lain tu. Okay.
From. Kejap doktor saya menggigil lah doktor, sabar.
Tak apa.
Customers, okay. Customer. A. And accounts. B. 10. Okay. Oh my god. B. Okay. Why is this happening? Doktor lepas B tu dia ada koma ke tak ada?
Tak
Memang
ada.
tak ada.
Tak ada, tak ada. Awak try klik ke lain. Klik ke lain. Klik ke lain. Dia tak boleh enter dah bunyi tu.
Bila enter.
Try enter. Try enter. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Foreign key dia. Customer ID. Customer ID. Customer ID. Saya. Okay.
Copy dulu before you click button tu. Copy. Let's see whether it is correct or not. Okay. So what which is missing actually? What that you put and then what actually I didn't put in my example. Please, your friend, chat. Remove, highlight your SQL statement from your Zen. Okay, come on. Now we have 42 lah, excluding myself and also Lian, okay, Intan.
Sebelum from doktor.
What, Intan?
Koma tu tak ada kan?
Which one? Nur Aisyah?
Line di dekat atas from.
Ni tak ada koma. Oh ni.
Tengok tadi macam
Thank you, Nur Aisyah. Okay. So, see, now you can get, now I think that you understand lah, that one which is relating to your primary key and so on. So, what about others? Any part which is you are not clear based on what Intan already showed before this, then you can ask. Intan, you already stop presenting. Wait, Intan.
Sorry. Jom Ayo. Okay.
Any question? Or any of you need more clarification based on what Intan have done? I'm going to count until 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think that all of your friends already understand lah. So Intan, now you also already understand lah.
Okay.
Okay, thank you very much Intan for sharing. Okay, welcome. So who else want to show or who else got difficulties or whatsoever, then please show, then we are going to solve together.
Doctor,
Yeah.
can I ask regarding to the assignment 3?
Okay. Present your screen. Which
Uh,
part that you are going to ask?
no, I just wanted to ask about the topic
Hmm?
because assignment 3 involving the big group, right? That consists 8 to 9 people, right?
Correct.
Okay. So the database is based on education.
It is clearly stated in your assignment question.
Okay. Thank you.
Ah.
Tak buat
Okay.
aku keliru. Kini kalau macam education tu database pasal portal ke pasal library ke macam mana
What
doktor?
types of the system that you want to create?
Saya macam fikir macam education, saya fikir macam nak buat portal study aku untuk simpan data
Boleh.
student itu.
Okay,
Boleh?
kan? Mm-mm.
Okay, terima kasih.
So that's why actually you can ask me what types of the name of that particular system, then I can tell you, okay, this one correct. So that's why this I want you to let me know the name first, and then I will let you know whether that one can be accepted or not.
Because I'm just searching about the topic for not topic for the
Mm.
education team for the
Mm.
database.
Mm-mm.
So I think I would like to do some database for student registration and that involve education. I mean involve course, involve subject.
Okay, maybe you can refer that one relating to the, for example, university student registration system. So that one already relate to the education.
Okay.
But then maybe also you can see that, okay, I want to do something related to the school.
Okay.
And then also not just only school, but maybe you want to relate to the driving school, also related to the education.
Okay. I just
Okay.
want to verify that.
Okay.
Thank you, doctor.
Okay, your title accepted.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Any other question? Or any of you want to show your screen? All of you still doing, eh? If I ask you to submit immediately before the class end, is it okay? Hmm? After this, if you want to show about your the draft of your assignment, you can show the draft of the assignment. But then not for today lah, because for today I'm going to upload letter by next week because I'm waiting for another group. I'm going to upload for all of the 3 groups. Okay, because maybe sometimes based on my student question and so on, so that's why sometimes some class explanation which is more compared to this other class and so on, so that one depends on the response of the student. So that one I will post later, but that's why I'm not going to allow you to present now. Okay, but if you want to show to me after this regarding your assignment, okay, hold on. Okay, this part under chapter 1, chapter 2, so that one I'm not going to check lah. For this one, you can put whatever that you want to put based on your own searching. Okay, but if you want to ask me, then you can ask relating to the subtopic 3.1, your ERD, your entity relationship diagram. And then this one also theory. So theory, you can put anything related to the theory. But then for 3.3, you can show to me because we want to know whether that particular data dictionary correct or not relating to your ERD that you already create before. Okay. And then after that for your relational model. Then last one for chapter number 4, both lah 4.1 and also 4. I'm going to put. So after this, please make sure that 3.1, 3.3, 4.1 and 4.2, you can show to me during class because I'm not going to check your draft
output untuk yang saya nak buat yang ni doktor.
Okay.
Yang ni kan. Lepas tu output dia memang keluar dua ni je ke?
Saya nak tengok balik awak punya select statement apa awak buat waktu ni.
Select statement. Ni.
Dekat lagi tak nampak lah. Tak nampak dekat lagi. Sekejap. Awak buat select, awak buat select count memang awak nak count ke customer ID tu?
Oh, kalau macam kita tak nak count tu, kita tak payah buat lah doktor.
Jangan letak. Itu kalau awak nak kira. Kalau select count tu awak nak kira berapa banyak customer ID yang ada dekat dalam table tu baru letakkan select count.
Okay.
Tapi kalau awak letak macam tu sekarang ni memang dia akan keluar dua kolom je lah. Satu kolom apa tu awak tulis customer ID, satu lagi kolom dia customer name.
Customer phone.
Customer apa? Phone. Customer phone. So dua je lah. Customer ID dengan customer phone. Okay.
Faham doktor. Terima kasih.
Okay, sama.